Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar,
hayya ala salah,
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar,
hayya ala salah,
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar,
hayya ala salah,
Allahu Akbar.
hayya ala salah.
With the acknowledgement that we are aware of the name of Allah, we must first rise and give all praises to Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. In that same rising, we bow down our earthly crown in humble and submissive obedience to the supreme discretion. To scream hail and high honors to our prophet, brother, man, and friend, noble God.
Islam.
Praise Allah, the first and only to come and resurrect our people from the tombstones of divided Ethiopians, go with the flow, Negroes, fabricated colored folks, and dead black people. We praise Allah alone and extend the hail and high honors as well to the forerunner of our love thought made manifest, the harbinger, Marcus Messiah Garvey, who did indeed say, up, up, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will, who came to prepare our people, to purify our minds, to desire something for ourselves, that we can cease to chase after the gods of Europe of whom we knew nothing, to prepare us to have our own nation, Islam. Praise Allah indeed. We extend the hail and high honors as well to all true and faithful leaders of the Moorish Science of America who have done their part, striving to keep the doors open that we might be here today to learn, study, know, and be the truth about ourselves. We extend our honors as well to all members striving for the name of faithful, attending their meetings promptly, paying their dues, keeping in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science of America, and keeping in line with all uplifting, being part of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science of America. Islam. Praise Allah indeed. We extend our honors, of course, to the father of this house, our brother Heru Renesiel, Islam. Praise Allah indeed. Our brother chairman for allowing me up on the podium, Islam.
Praise Allah.
The ANGL Force, the Mufti staff, for protecting and guarding this holy place that we might be here today to express and be ourselves, Islam. Praise Allah indeed. We extend our honors, of course, to all things Moorish, our red flag with the 500 green star in the center, which is a D over 10,000 years old on these shores, alleged to be over 50,000 years old worldwide, Islam. Red representing the blood shed in the Moorish wars to maintain and establish peace wherever need be, Islam. With those 5 highest principles known to man: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, Islam. We do indeed give an honor as well to the American trading banner, which does indeed bear witness to one of the greatest documents known to man, the American Constitution. That same Constitution does indeed restrict the legislature from enacting any legislation that may prohibit the free establishment and or practice of religion. We praise Allah indeed for our holy and divine prophet, for being divinely prepared to establish our religion rightfully, and for knowing as well that that same Constitution does indeed establish for each of those states which united upon that Constitution to establish new states and accept new states into the said union. That same Constitution establishing for all of those states to grant full faith and credit to all public acts of each state. Our holy divine prophet being divinely prepared to move to the state of Illinois, which established at its second founding that there should never be any slavery to enter into that place. And it indeed also allowed in its first Grand Assembly in 1870 that religious bodies who desire to become incorporated can do so by simply having a meeting, establishing its leadership by whatever names they should deem appropriate according to their rules, usages, and customs, their ways of life, what is ordained for them. We extend honors to our holy divine prophet and those who saw fit, Islam, to prepare those ways for our people to be established according to the Religious Corporation Act of 1872, which did indeed establish us as a nation and state. The proof of which can be found in the Cook County Record of Deeds office under document 105905. We extend honors to all those who maintain those records. We extend honors to all those who do indeed live according to the life established by those missionaries who do indeed carry the truth about our prophet and extend the learning of our prophet, establishing the faith of Muhammad here in America. We extend our honors to all those who do indeed attend their meetings, obeying their prophet. We extend our honors to all that do. To our mother and fathers, the holy divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, etc.
Islam.
And you indeed for attending your meeting. We extend our honors to you. Islam. We praise Allah indeed for just the opportunity to reach you more, Islam. With the opportunity to come down here and be received in the spirit of love. You know, I literally got on the phone with the brother Haru, maybe a couple of hours before I pulled up and said, "Well, I'm on my way in." He said, "All right, well, I'll be over here when you get there. Just let me know." You know. And as soon as I touched down, I pulled right up and I sat here and built with the Sheik for several hours. I mean, it was, you know, as if we had known each other for years. And it's all because of the base and foundation of those things we all give honors to.
Islam.
Those things that our brother just read about in the chapter on religion. Those laws that have been established for our people that if we look into, we can appreciate. Islam? Praise Allah indeed. I want to go briefly into that chapter. I'll follow my brother on that same camel. Chapter 35, Islam? Chapter on religion. What had caught my ear to hear at that moment was, in particular, instruction 16. We acknowledge that the Father is gracious upon us. Chapter 35, the Holy Instructions from the Prophet on religion. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. Instruction 16. The Father is gracious and beneficent. He hath created the world in mercy and love. His creatures of his hand declare his goodness, and their enjoyments speak of his praise. He clothed them with beauty. He supporteth them with food. He preserveth them with pleasure from generation to generation. We are able to acknowledge, you know, in this quick acknowledgement of you know, the divine preparation of this existence, coming from, you know, the Creator, that divine wisdom which created us all. In that we are instructed, you know, to acknowledge the graciousness therein, right, of those creations. The preparation of this entire life that we are able to live, from the fact that we breathe in the same thing that the plants breathe out, you know, from the same thing that we breathe in, it cleans our blood. Our blood is able to function throughout our muscles and allow our muscles to function. There's a power in the arm, Islam? Praise Allah. It goes on in instruction 18 to say, if we lift up our eyes to heaven, his glory shineth forth. If we cast them down on the earth, it is full of his goodness. The hills and the valleys rejoice and sing. The fields, upon his fields, rivers and woods resound his praise. You know, even if we go out and those things that we acknowledge, or we first might say are not alive, but then we can still acknowledge their liveliness, right? You know, we go out there, I mean, I know the brothers explained to me earlier that this is a landlocked city, but, you know, I'm from Chicago, we're on Lake Michigan, you know. I go out there oftentimes and literally just watch the waves, you know. And I mean, oftentimes, I'm sure anytime you look at a stream and you just watch it do what it does, you know, naturally, you know. You see those leaves and things, they sing and acknowledge the praises of Allah due to their natural preparation and placement, you know, to catch those winds as they pass by. Praise Allah. We see here it says 19. But, see, out of all of those things and how great they are, there's a but. Thee, he has distinguished with peculiar favor and exalted thy station above all creatures, right? So above all of those other things that we just acknowledged how amazing they are, and, pardon me, how amazing they are, and how divinely they are prepared to enact with this whole manifestation, right? There is also an acknowledgement, but you yourself have been prepared with a peculiar favor and exalted your station above all things created. Islam? We know that man was given a soul that he might function on the plane of soul, soul given a body flesh that he might function on the plane thing may manifest.
Islam.
Then they was given a lordship, praise Allah, right?
Islam.
Islam, exalted, praise Allah. Islam?
Indeed.
Islamism, praise Allah. And so it says here, it says, to further that acknowledgement, it says, he hath endued thee with reason. We know those things come from the plane of soul, Islam? Thinking, reasoning, was it thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing, Islam?
That's right.
The actions of the soul, praise Allah. It says, he has endued thee with reason, Islam, to maintain thy dominion, right? Because see, we had given it up, right? But he gave you reason, resolution, all those tools, Islam, praise Allah. Islam. So we were given these things to maintain our dominion, our station, Islam, that exalted place, Islam. Praise Allah for Ali, the one exalted amongst us, Islam. Raised up amongst us, Islam. It says to maintain thy dominion. It says he hath fitted thee with language to improve thy society. What is it? With wisdom, endowed thee with wisdom that you might communicate it. Islam. Praise Allah indeed. Fitted you with language that you might communicate. We understand that language is merely expression of our thought. This expression is coming through the breath, constricted by our vocal cords. Islam. Breathe forth the truth. It'll make us free. Islam. Praise Allah. He says, and exalted thy mind with the powers of meditation. You see, thought must be developed by the exercise of strength, right? So when you focus, right, you allow said thought to become stronger. Islam. Briefly before I leave, I want to try a quick little exercise, right? If you will, just real quick, close your eyes, if you would, right? Close your eyes. Now think of a ball, right? Okay, you see your ball, right? Now stop thinking of the ball, right? Now stop thinking of the ball. Stop developing the thought. Stop using your strength. Islam, you already get the measure, I'm sure. As long as you continue to focus, you'll develop that thought. As long as the cars can't block you, as long as the buzzing and the bees ain't in the way, as long as that itch ain't tingling no more, you can develop that thought by the exercise of your strength. Islam. The powers of meditation. Contemplate. Islam. And then communicate those thoughts. Islam. That we might all better ourselves. Praise Allah. It says he's exalted our mind with the powers of meditation to contemplate and adore his inimitable perfections. How amazing it all is. Islam. It says, and in the laws he has ordained as the rule of life. So kindly has he united thy duty to thy nature, that obedience to his precepts is happiness to thyself. Islam. It's your nature to breathe. Right? And as you breathe again, you cleanse your blood gets to work in your muscles, and there you are. Active. Islam. Now then we get to taking in stuff that we ain't got no business taking in, and we get to tearing down our bodies, and there it is. Right? Because we violate the law. Islam. Monogamy brought all sorts of diseases. Violating the marriage obligation. Islam brought all sorts of diseases. Violating the dietary law brought all sorts of diseases. Islam violating the social bounds brought all sorts of mental instabilities. Islam. And now our society is where it is, chasing after the ideals of others instead of establishing those principles unto ourselves and saying that we ever act accordingly. Islam. Living the life accordingly. Islam. Praise Allah. It says, oh, praise his goodness with songs of thanksgiving and meditate in silence on the wonders of his love. Let thy heart, that gratitude, right, overflow with gratitude and acknowledgement. Let the language of thy lips speak praise and adoration. Let the actions of thy life, right, the way you're living it, right. So you got the way that your heart is expressing it, the way that your mouth is saying it, and the actions, your words, your works, and your deeds. Islam. Let the actions of your life show the love to his law. Islam. Oh, I don't eat that because I understand my love to the law is going to develop me onto this place of fruition. The destination is not unknown nor uncertain. Right. We have instructions. I'm going to follow them. You can see it in my life. Right. I love this law because I know where I'm going. Islam. Praise Allah alone. I came in peace and leave you all in more love.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
حي على الصلاة